that some commissioners and head of the civil service were present, but the civil society organizations were not adequately represented. The findings of the hearing are expected to be submitted to the House for further deliberation. Well, earlier, some stakeholders faulted Governor Siminalayi Fubara's plan to spend the money on the construction of a ring road in Port Harcourt. Human rights lawyer Henry Ekine, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, advised the governor to channel the money into other critical areas.
At the moment, there are more critical issues challenging the welfare of citizens than that kind of ring road project. Even if it is important, like I said, I think that that should be by way of public-private partnerships. That the 200 billion that the government has probably got an access should be directed into these critical areas of education, healthcare, access to justice, and even the pressing economy, the right to harnessing economic opportunities.
Well, Mr. Ekine also urged Governor Fubara to adopt a public-private partnership approach in carrying out capital projects in the state.
I think that if the government thinks that it's important and a priority for the government to construct a ring road that is valued at over 200 billion, we would suggest that the government should source that funding or carry out that project by a strategy that will encourage private sector investments into that project. That is a public-private partnership approach to doing that, so that the funds that the government intends to source externally by borrowing should be channeled in other more pressing areas that will quickly enhance the welfare of citizens.
Now, on his part, the chairman, River State Civil Society Organizations, Enefa George Will, said the Siminalayi Fubara administration should distinguish itself from the past administration by embarking on social programs to alleviate hardship.
There is need for social program. A high rate of unemployment in the state. The NGS have recorded us
by European Union Election Observation Mission on the 2023 general elections says there was a constrained campaign environment in Rivers State, with the former governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, imposing campaign rules that were more restrictive than INEC regulations. The EU report on the general elections, which has already been rejected by the presidency, said the EU election observers recorded denials of access to opposition candidates to state-owned stadiums and school premises, selectively imposed excessive venue fees, and closed party offices to prevent the opposition from campaigning. The report said the same constrained campaign environment was also observed in Lagos, Katsina, Kaduna, Delta, Edo, Ogun, and Kogi states. Well, former Governor Nyesom Wike and the PDP are yet to react to this. Now, before the general elections, former Governor Wike signed into law Executive Orders 21 in September 2022 and 22 in November. Well, the orders required candidates to pay a non-refundable fee of 5 million naira to hold rallies at public school premises and obtain the permission of the Commissioner for Urban Development and Physical Planning before rallies are held. However, Governor Wike at the time said the move was to protect public facilities in the state. Now, reacting to this, the coordinator, River State Transition Monitoring Group, TMG, Nathaniel Akbos, commended the findings from the EU observation mission. Mr. Akbos described the report as credible, fair, and accurate. He spoke with our correspondent.
Even the international community could give their reports as what they observed during the 2023 elections. TMG supports the reports of the EU. In fact, that is even our own report. If you have followed us carefully from time to time, we have always made this clear call that all this will truncate the transparent process that we envisage. Is a welcome development that the European Union has given their report, whether the state government, whether they like it or not. That is the position of we in the civil society.
Meanwhile, an INEC ad hoc staff, Ibiam Nachi, who served as a presiding officer during the 2023 general election in Obiakpo local government area, has this to say.
There were so many antis that they came out with, most especially the people that felt that this state is theirs. They came out with so many antis that if you are not this party, if you are not for them, that you should not come out and vote. They intimidated a lot of persons. A lot of persons were afraid of their life. There were a lot of voter apathy. The EU report is just a confirmation of the yearning of the people. This I was on ground and I saw what happened. So the EU have done Nobel. They just brought out a report that showed what transpired in this particular election.
Now, a legal practitioner, Courage Nsirimovu, says he is disappointed at the reaction of the federal government towards the 2023 elections report from the EU. Mr. Nsirim said this on Nigerian Info FM's Morning Crossfire today.
The president is an interested party. Is he trying to, affect the weight of that particular document, which is the EU report that has been admitted? If you're not happy about how the election went, go to court. And now the necessary parties are going to court to allow that process to flow. So I totally disagree. There were irregularities. In fact, the Electoral Act as it is, INEC has stipulated the process of transmission, and that process was also not followed.
Away from that, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, Owunari George Will, has threatened to dismiss a student over indecent dressing. An online video, which has now gone viral, showed the moment Professor Owunari, in company of other university officials, cited the student wearing a white crop blouse, a jean shorts and a bucket hat. In the video, the Uniport VC could be heard asking the student if she was comfortable in what she had on. While responding, the student defended herself, saying she felt comfortable in the outfit, but her response did not go down well with the VC.
If you dress this way, if you close yourself up, you are not comfortable. You are more comfortable when you expose the whole of your body. Yeah? No, you say you are comfortable. You are comfortable with this dressing. Oh, my friend, take a look at the details, please. These are not the kind of people we need in this country. Take our details. Give me your location number and everything. No, please give me your details. I will dismiss this girl. Tell me you are comfortable. Comfortable with what? Now you almost make it there. You say you are comfortable. No, you say you are comfortable. I say you are comfortable.
But still on education, the Rivers State Commissioner for Education, Chinedum Mom, has again said the state government has zero tolerance to all forms of examination malpractice. Professor Mom said this while monitoring the conduct of basic education certificate examination in some public schools in the state. Now, he said no financial burden should be put on any student because the government has taken full responsibility.
The next examination is also to start by next week, and Rivers State government has paid for every student, every candidate in public school that has submitted this data that have been registered for this examination. Free of charge. No teacher, no principal is expected to collect any amount of money, whatever from the parents or from the students in this regard.
Professor Mom said Governor Siminalayi Fubara is already remodeling and renovating schools in the state. Well, the State Commissioner for Education also said the government will provide learning materials for all students in public schools free of charge. Our correspondent reports that the schools monitored include Community Secondary School, Rumo Precom, Government Girls Secondary School, Rumo Puta, Community Junior Secondary School, Olanada, Rumola, amongst others. Still to come, APC governors move to settle rift between party chairman, lawmakers. Stay tuned. Taxi driver is calling for increased police presence along Olu-Obasanjo-Ikoku Road in Port Harcourt after a middle-aged man, yet to be identified, was hospitalized after hoodlums attacked him with a machete along the road last night. The man was attacked when the petrol in the taxi he boarded from Waterline Junction to Junction finished before they got to his destination. The taxi driver narrated the incident to our correspondent.
Those boys, they come out for that road where they walk generator. So my fuel finish, I put fuel. Now from there, then come out for that begin to embarrass my passenger. Then took my passenger bottle. Then collect all the money with them, said everything. They match me for my neck. Now I run. As they come, they don't match on my passenger for here. Now I can't go hospital to treat them.
Well, he said incidents like that have become reoccurrent in that area.
Made the police find way take a case for that place. That place they danger. And now I don't carry my passenger where they took him. Blood come out from here. Can't go hospital. Around to 9.
Our correspondents gathered that the man who could not speak was first rushed to a patent chemist's shop for first aid treatment at Ojoto Lane in Mile 3, Diobu, before he was taken to an undisclosed hospital due to continuous bleeding. While the Rivers State Police Command is yet to speak on this. The Progressive Governors Forum has pledged to intervene in the conflict between the ruling All Progressives Congress and the presiding leaders of the National Assembly over the choice of principal officers. The move, which many believe was a deliberate effort to douse the growing tension in the party, is coming hours after the national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, disowned the new appointees announced on Tuesday by Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas. In business, Nigeria may miss a World Bank's target of 148 million national identification number registrations by June 2024, after total NIN registrations hit 101 million as of June of this year. Under the Digital Identification for Development Project, the World Bank expects NIN enrollment to hit 148 million by June 2024. And in entertainment, singer Adele is the latest to speak out about fans throwing bracelets, phones, and sweets at artists on stage. The singer spoke to a Las Vegas audience. In the video, the singer was seen holding a T-shirt gun, saying she would, quote, kill anyone who tried to chuck something on stage. And in sports, alumna Hannah Dingley has been named first female manager of the professional football team, Forest Green Rovers.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
More than 50 bodies remain unclaimed a month after a deadly train crash killed at least 293 people in India. The accidents happened on the 2nd of June in the eastern state of Odisha when a passenger train hit a stationary goods train and derailed on an adjacent track. Now, more than 1,000 people were injured in that crash, which is India's deadliest rail accident this century. And that's the news, but before we go, another look at the highlights of the major stories. On the news this afternoon, you heard that public hearing on the planned Port Harcourt Ring Road has ended, with residents condemning the 200 billion naira earmarked for the project. The EU 2023 elections report has criticized former Governor Nyesom Wike's pre-election actions. APC governors are taking steps to settle the rift between the party chairman and the leadership of the National Assembly. Uniport VC has threatened to dismiss a student over indecent dressing. And on the foreign scene, over 50 bodies have been unclaimed 1 month after a train crash killed 293 people in India. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. Partly cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I'm Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good afternoon.